The rhythm of 1920s Germany, that was the blues, my friends, and real American jazz needs black musicians. After the war, there were opportunities in Germany, but many of us steered clear. Their economy was wrecked and their streets were dangerous. But then came good old Gustav Stresemann. By 1924, things began to turn around. The German mark stabilized thanks in no small part to the Dawes plan and a fresh injection of American dollars. So I packed up my horn and boarded the next ocean liner. Without the Kaiser's censorship, German culture had changed. Berlin was buzzing. The cafes around the Winter Garden district became a hub for black performers looking for work, and there was plenty of it. A nightclub wasn't a nightclub unless a black jazz band was making the walls shake. Everyone should see Berlin at least once in their life. The energy was electric. Charleston dancers, nude cabaret, wild comedy shows, where politicians were the punchline of every joke. Women, newly liberated, would roll into the clubs after a day at the office, meeting up with friends, or sometimes flirting with strangers. Some places even had flirt machines, little devices and long tubes that let you whiz messages across the room. From bar stool to table, Berlin became a safe haven for love, even queer love. No one was alone, and everyone had twice as much fun. But that kind of freedom didn't sit well with everyone. Outside of Berlin and a few other cities, the old ways held strong. People clung to their traditions, their suspicion of outsiders, their disapproval of new women. When the Great Depression hit, fear turned to anger, and the Nazis knew just what to say. They promised to make Germany great again. Black people wouldn't be welcome, and women would be pushed to raise families at home. When Hitler took power in 1933, the message was clear. There were two kinds of people in Germany: white Aryans and everybody else. The violence came quickly, and just months later, Laurie Gilges, a black dancer and known communist, was beaten to death by Nazi thugs in Dusseldorf and left to die in the street. We lost our jobs, we were evicted, then the Nuremberg laws stripped us of citizenship and made it illegal for black men to marry Germans. It got worse. In the Rhineland, at least 385 black children were forcibly sterilized before they could start families of their own. So when war broke out, we didn't just sit back. We fought, we became spies, messengers, resistance members hiding in plain sight. Musicians and entertainers made perfect smugglers. We were used to traveling, slipping through borders, mingling with the rich and powerful by night, and vanishing into the crowd by morning. But many black musicians were punished in concentration camps. Even Arthur Briggs, a giant of the jazz world, was locked away, surviving on his talents. The Nazi camp commander forced him to play classical music for officers and their guests. After a brilliant performance, the commander said, "I never thought a black man could play Beethoven." Arthur looked that murderer straight in the eye and said, "There is a lot you don't know."